Hello everyone! In this video, I will be talking about children, specifically child bloodshed in Greek tragedies. In many Greek tragedies, child bloodshed is a recurring theme, often accompanied by irrational behavior and out of fear of pleasing the gods. These acts on innocent children raise discussion on parenthood and morality of both mortal and divine characters. But why sacrifice kids? Some sources argue that much of child sacrifice connects with the legend of Athenians, who would punish young men and women for killing King Minos' son by sending them to the Minotaur to be eaten. This tale is a common link in child sacrifice. Not too far from a feast of children is with Atreus and Thyestes' two kids. Atreus and Thyestes, sons of Pelops and Hippodamia, are battling to become king of Mycenae. After some double-crossing, Atreus wins the throne, but forgives Thyestes and invites him to a feast. However, the main course would include Thyestes' chopped-up children, in which he eats them. Thyestes is obviously angered, and he puts a curse yet again on Atreus' descendants, Agamemnon and Menelaus, thus deeply ingraining this dark cloud within the house of Atreus. Here we can see where child bloodshed in response to the desire of getting revenge. This next example is of Agamemnon's sacrifice of his daughter Iphigenia. In both Aeschylus' and Euripides' versions, Agamemnon is faced with the troubling decision of getting his men back home by sacrificing his daughter Iphigenia, or being viewed as a cowardly leader by not sacrificing her. The difference with this bloodshed is that the goddess Artemis has inflicted this decision, but nonetheless, out of Agamemnon's fear of hurting his reputation and selfishness, in my opinion, he chooses to have Iphigenia sacrificed. Moving to my next example of Oedipus and his biological parents, Jocasta and Laos. As Oedipus's true identity begins to unravel before him, he remembers a time when living in Corinth that he was accused of not being his father's child. This is after Jocasta recounts how Laos attempted to abandon his 3-day-old baby, who is Oedipus, by pinning his ankles together and leaving him on the mountain to die out of fear of the oracle being that Oedipus would kill his father and marry his mother. Although Oedipus survived this incident as a baby, it shows child bloodshed because of Laos' intentions and his assumptions that this would be the only way to not have the oracle come true. But fate, in the end, always wins. Moving on to my next example from Euripides, The Trojan Women, where Andromache is forced to give up her son Astyanax to the Achaeans to be murdered. Andromache is heartbroken and is told that there is nothing she can do to protect her son because her city and her husband are no more. Astyanax is the son of the deceased Hector, and the Achaeans decided that he can no longer live in order to avoid royal succession when he grows up. They fling him from the battlements of Troy in fear of the future, and this example shows how insignificant a child's life can be in many Greek tragedies. Moving on to Medea. Medea displays the ultimate level of child bloodshed as means of getting revenge on Jason for leaving her. Her goal is to make Jason suffer for what he put her through, and what better way than to murder both of their children alongside his new lover and her father, King Creon. This explains how the satisfaction of taking his children away from him outweighs the pain she feels from murdering her kids. This is shocking considering a mother's love for her children would rarely consider murdering her own children, but Medea's selfishness overpowers her because she doesn't want to be seen as weak by her enemies. To take a brain break from child murders and Attic tragedies, let's move to a different era, modern film. A film I'm choosing to relate this to is to the 1991 film The Rapture. The movie details the story of a young telephone operator named Sharon. She has a regular life, but she also engages in group sex, which is very erotic. In the movie, she comes across a Christian group who informs her that the rapture, meaning an end-of-world occurrence where those who are believers will rise into heaven, is coming, and that she should start accepting God into her life. Sharon becomes a believer/reborn Christian and gets married, has a daughter named Mary. She takes Mary into the desert thinking God wanted her to do this and shoots her daughter Mary. But spoiler alert, she does not shoot herself. In the end, the rapture happens, but she starts doubting God and blaming God for taking her daughter away from her, where in the end, she does not ascend into heaven as she sees God as cruel. Sorry, also another spoiler alert. A main turning point in this film is her killing or sacrificing her own child to please God, similar to Agamemnon and Iphigenia, but by her not taking her own life out of fear can be viewed as selfish, which is also a common theme in sacrificing children. Well, something interesting to point out when talking about child bloodshed is also agency within these children, or where they display this agency. In Euripides' Iphigenia at Aulis, Iphigenia submits to sacrifice herself after Artemis' control of the winds and demand for Agamemnon to choose between saving his men by sacrificing Iphigenia. Iphigenia in this version, different from Aeschylus', shows bravery and agency because she submits herself to be sacrificed for the honor and to help Greece. Thank you for watching!